What's happening, people? And once again, welcome back to youtube.com/CubCamTV for this, another edition of CubReacts. It's our third upload of the day, and I'm very excited to get into this one. I've seen it dropped earlier today. The Ben featuring Diamond Platnumz with Why. First time reacting to the Ben. However, we have done a few Diamond Platnumz tunes on the channel, and they always seem to be really popular, so I'm very excited to get into this one. It is an audio and lyric video. It's doing absolute bits. It's already on around like 300,000 views, and it dropped less than 12 hours ago, so it's crazy the amount of people that are loving this one already. So I thought, you know what, let's dive right into it. As always though, if you are new to the channel, make sure you are hitting that subscribe button on the right hand side of the page, turning notifications on, leaving a like, leaving a comment, all of that good stuff. We are very close to hitting 18,000 and we can do that with your help, so please do get involved. For those that are new to the channel though, do you remember this is a reaction and analysis video, so we are going to be breaking down the sonics of this one down to a T. So we're going to be breaking down the production, the vocal performance, and everything in between from a technical standpoint. So hopefully you guys do enjoy. Without further ado, let's jump into the sounds of this one. Huh? Very smooth intro. Wow. Harmonically, this one is, yeah, the harmonies on this are already sounding crazy. I'm loving the depth of instrumentation we're getting. It feels like there's 4 or 5 different layers all stacked up on top of each other. The kind of guitars playing very much the lead role throughout the middle. You've got a slightly slower tempo to what we're used to from Diamond Platnumz, although, again, you can hear that sort of transition over a lot of different tempos. And again, I'm loving the vocal structure. Very smooth, very kind of heartfelt, emotive sounding vocals so far. It's a great start. I'm looking forward to seeing how this one develops.
Give you some good won't you really stay? Tell me, is my love gonna be enough till the end of time?
That slight auto-tune doing bits, you know.
What you really scared? I will protect your heart.
So we are going to be jumping around a couple of different languages with this one by the looks of things. Again, I always try my best to interpret things as much as I can. I don't look at translations beforehand because it would mean knowing what's going to happen in the tune. But yeah, just going to try and break down as much as we can. Loving that slight use of auto-tune on the vocal for this one, just giving it a bit of extra depth and a bit of extra colour sonically, giving it a bit more direction. And the slight quivers in the vocal, giving it, again, that extra sense of depth. Really clean, man. The instrumental is very, very packed out, but there's still room for that vocal to kind of thrive through the middle on a kind of frequency spectrum scale. Really nice, man. This is nice. It's a tune that's definitely putting a smile on my face. Drums are wicked.
Everywhere you want me to go. I will water. Give you some good love.
So we've already heard this kind of intro section a couple of times. Again, I've got a funny feeling we are going to go through this kind of quite repetitive process, but the instrumental around it is constantly growing and shifting and changing, which is what's giving it that sort of sense of moving forward. There are so many different elements in the actual musical arrangement for this one. Again, we know with anything Diamond Platnumz touches, we are going to be in for a solid piece of production without a shadow of a doubt. And this just sounds so gorgeous, man. The soundscaping is stunning. The use of numerous different guitar layers. Again, the sweeping kind of pads that are going on in the high end. It's just structured so nicely. Everything stacked up on top of each other in a really sonically pleasing way. I'm loving this so far.
Drums.
Woo! Ah!
Baby, tell me I love you.
Hearing an actual a bit more expansion here on the vocals, actually hitting those higher notes, hearing the kind of scales move up and down. Very, very clean. Again, I'm loving it from a sort of collaborative perspective. This is definitely a link-up which works. And the vocal layers, when you kind of hit that big crescendo moment, especially on a tune like this, which is a little bit slower, we've already heard a little bit of repetition, and it's primarily been about the kind of the solidarity of that harmonic structure. When you suddenly hear someone just break out and just go, duh, 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 like the big kind of I'm trying to think, almost ballad-like note throughout the middle. Sounds great, man. Again, you can hear the emotion running throughout the heart of this one. It's a wicked vocal performance so far.
Baby, tell me I love you. Oh, I love you, I will border. Everywhere you want me to go. I will water.
nice switch up as well, completely changing the flavors, giving us a completely different vocal texture as well. I think that was what was needed with this one, because it was sort of straying into the possibility of being a little bit too repetitive. Obviously, we've heard that sort of lead hook line 2 or 3 times now. And again, I don't know whether that's the bridge or the hook, because the tune's called Why, and it does kind of switch between the two. But again, I think it did need a little bit of differentiation. This sort of section here has arrived just in time to give it that extra sense of depth, and again, continue that feeling that the tune is moving forward. You don't want something that is as kind of well structured as this to become stagnant. You want it to keep flowing and moving forward, and they've just achieved that with the vocal switch up.
Baby, I love you.
Again, I'm being 100% honest, there is only so much I can kind of translate. Again, I pretty much just speak English, which is probably not a good thing for this channel. But again, I always do invite people, if they want to kind of leave translations in the comment sections down below. The whole point of this channel is kind of to analyze sonics rather than lyricism, which obviously in this scenario kind of helps, because it's not something that I am able to actually translate. But please do leave any translations in the comment section down below. I know on the actual video there's a couple on there. I think there's likely to be anyway, but please do leave translations down below so I can have a look through and give it that sort of full level of interpretation a little bit down the line, in my own time, essentially. Nice switch. Again, having those subtle kind of guitar lines running through the middle of the melody on this one is what's giving it, again, that sort of sense of depth. There's, I think, 2 or 3 different guitar melodies that are all kind of woven into each other. I'm loving the fact that the drums obviously are slightly slower on this one, but they are giving it, again, this really nice sense of depth, a lot of kind of power within those drums. They sound very organically processed as well. Nothing sounds too OTT or too electronic outside of the vocal, and yet you still are able to hear that vocal marry very nicely with the rest of the arrangement in general. This is such a nice tune to listen to. Just the arrangement is so pleasing, like it's so heartwarming more than anything else. And again, that variation is needed. Sometimes I do hear it, you know, where sometimes you get these sort of super catchy hooks and super catchy layouts, and people just get a bit lazy with it, and they just kind of repeat the same section over and over again, the same recording, like they don't even re-record. With this, you can tell the effort has gone in to kind of keep that level of variation going. Really like the fact that we've heard different versions of this hook kind of come into play, different kind of levels of emotion, different levels of performance as well. It gives it that impression that this is a tune that would sound good live, and in general, it gives it the impression that it's a tune that does, that definitely doesn't, it doesn't fall short, you know. It definitely feels like all of the effort has been put in to make it as good as it can be. That's from a listener's perspective, at least. Again, it's an interesting double up. When we're looking at the combination of the actual hook itself and the sort of pre-hook, we've kind of had this section here about 5 times, but we've only had the sort of verse which meant the hook that mentions the word why, I think twice, maybe 3 times throughout the entire thing. So it's a cool kind of way of weaving different musical sections away from the typical kind of verse, chorus, bridge, pre-verse, chorus, outro. That's the sort of typical pop structure. This takes it in a few different directions, and we kind of mixed up the structure in its arrangement. Just on a musical level, I always like hearing that. I like hearing the differentiation. Again, possibly slightly too repetitive, but again, that's down to personal preference more than anything else. We'll let this one finish off and then give our final breakdown at the end.
Everywhere you want me to go. I will water. Give you some good love. Comic Slicer.
There we go then. The sounds of the Ben featuring Diamond Platnumz. Really nice link up. The production on this is absolutely through the roof. Love the arrangements. Love the fact that we get such a kind of depthy sense of harmonic structure on this one. Really, really cleanly put together. I love the vocals as well. Slightly too repetitive at times, but I do like the fact that we did get the differentiation on what I believe was the actual hook. We heard a fair amount of variation on that, but again, a little bit too much repetition perhaps on the sort of pre-hook. But overall, solid piece of work, and as always, this is one that people are clearly loving a fair bit. Goes by the name Y. View-wise, you can see already down here, 345k in 12 hours. That's absolutely crazy. Big up Diamond Platnumz each and every time. And as always, guys, please do get those translations into the comments down below. I love to read through them in my own time, just to kind of understand the tune a little bit more, and be able to take it in on a personal level. But there we go. Hopefully you guys did enjoy this technical analysis and musical breakdown video. If you did, please make sure you're hitting that subscribe button on the right-hand side of the page, turning notifications on, leaving a like, leaving a comment, and all of that good stuff. And we shall see you all next time. Peace.
Sounding so good right now. But they're sounding a bright and town.
Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel right now, CubCamTV. Stay locked.